We thank the Special Envoy of the Secretary General, Hans Grunberg, as well as the Deputy Director of Operations and Advocacy Division of OCHA, Madam Agada Modavi, for their briefings on the political humanitarian situation in Yemen. Today, without a doubt, we are bearing witness to a turning point for this long-suffering country, where for a number of consecutive years there's been acute military, political, humanitarian crisis. In the Yemeni settlement, there has indeed been observed considerable progress. All of the parties are clearly striving to avoid another large-scale escalation and genuinely are interested in normalization. Nonetheless, this is a slow and fragile process. Prior to discussions about launching a full-fledged political process, there's a need for the Yemeni players to reach agreement on a number of political issues, which are designed to renew the truce that was suspended last year for a lengthier period of time, to expand the provisions thereof, as well as to mitigate the acute humanitarian crisis. There is a need for the parties to be willing to engage in reciprocal concessions, so to overcome key differences. There's an indispensable need to renew international legal basis for settlement in order to ensure that they reflect current realities. We hope that all influential political stakeholders in the country will maintain a constructive position which will help to establish a lasting regime for ending the hostilities. And under these circumstances, there is an important need, more important than ever before, to exercise restraint, to forestall provocations. There has been heartening progress in addressing the issue of exchange of prisoners. We welcome what was arrived at and achieved by the Special Envoy in late March. I refer to the agreement on the exchange of detainees and arrestees. This is an agreement arrived at with the official Yemeni authorities and the Houthi movement, and we welcome the beginning of its implementation. We urge the Yemeni stakeholders to step up negotiations geared towards continuing to resolve issues of forcibly detained persons and other humanitarian issues. We believe that meaningful progress in this direction would facilitate confidence building and would also help to create a favorable atmosphere for the establishment of full-fledged nationwide dialogue with the participation of all of the leading political forces in Yemen under the aegis of the United Nations, and this will also help to ensure a lasting normalization in the situation. For our part, the Russian Federation will continue to coordinate our approaches with all leading Yemeni protagonists and key regional partners. We note the unstinting efforts undertaken by the Special Envoy to ensure that the Yemeni parties return to the negotiating table. Our support for your efforts, Mr. Grunberg, was reaffirmed during the discussion with the Foreign Minister of the Russian Federation, Mr. Lavrov, on 17 February. Our shared goal should be the long-term comprehensive settlement to the long-standing problems that Yemen has been enduring, problems which have spilled over into neighboring states, affecting them significantly. At the same time, we continue to be discouraged by the persistent fixation of a number of Security Council colleagues on the need to renew the export of Yemeni oil. Now is not the time to advance national agendas, despite the desire of some parties to continue to exploit this country's resources. We are concerned by the persistent, dire socioeconomic situation in Yemen, where the world's largest humanitarian disaster has unfolded. The Yemeni people, regardless of where they reside, need to have unfettered access to food, to medicine, and to other basic necessities on a non-discriminatory basis. We note the efforts of the regional players on the financial and humanitarian tracks. We also hope that there will be a prompt resolution to the issues around the Safar oil tanker. In its current state, it continues to pose a serious threat to the Red Sea ecosystem. To conclude, I wish to recall the consistent efforts undertaken by the Russian Federation to improve the situation and to achieve a robust peace, stability, and sustainable development in the Persian Gulf region. The achievement of these objectives is the focus of what was renewed in August 2021. I refer to the Russian blueprint to create, in the Persian Gulf area, a system for collective security. I now resume my duties as the President of the Security Council and I welcome during this meeting. I welcome to the meeting the permanent representative of Yemen, and you have the floor, sir.